15 is a young age. You're still trying to work out how to navigate life and may not have any idea of what kind of person you'll grow up to be. 15 is not an age that you should be thinking about murder, let alone committing it. Okay, let's go. Daniel William Marsh was born on the 14th of May, 1997. Fucking Tauruses, I tell ya. And lived in Davis, California, US of A.
97, that's young.
Although we do not know a lot about his early years, we do know that he has an older sister with a 2-year age difference, and by the age of 10 or 12, as there are conflicting reports, he actually made news headlines after receiving an American Red Cross Heroes Award for using CPR to save his father's life, who had actually suffered a heart attack whilst driving. Daniel was able to safely pull the car over and start beating on his dad's chest to perform CPR. You might be thinking, oh, what a bloody hero. Well, dear Mung Bean's heroes do not turn out like this boy.
Well, not a hero then.
Not a hero. At age 9, his parents went through a divorce because his mother decided to have an affair and run off with Daniel's former kindergarten teacher.
Damn, Daniel.
Scandalo. Damn, Daniel. I didn't even think about that the whole case.
Damn, your mummy a thought.
Yeah. Daniel would later comment that he thought his mother running off for a few months and leaving him with his dad for another woman was selfish, and would also state, do you care about your own happiness more than your children's?
Sorry, discrimination, Mary. I assumed it was men.
Nay. She ran off with a lady.
Well, all right.
With everything going on, possibly the trauma of saving his dad's life and his mother running off with a woman, Daniel started to take a turn, although you will later question, was he always like this? Daniel did not enjoy living with his father and would later state that his dad was always angry and would break things in front of them or throw objects around. Is that the rain? That's right. It's raining at the moment and it's fucking hot.
Yeah, it's 20 to 7 at night, it's 30 degrees, and there's a rainstorm happening outside,
Yeah.
so you might hear the rain through the episode. Sorry about it. Not
Yeah,
sorry.
and feel the heat because it's fucking hot.
You try living in Brisbane.
Australia. It also appears his relationship with his sister was not a good one, and I quote, she was a really bad attention-seeking habitual liar or manipulator of my parents. And you know when you're a little kid and you see that she's manipulating them and you try to tell them but they don't believe you because you're just a kid? Around the 10 or 12-year-old mark, Daniel would start having homicidal fantasies and even plotted to kill the woman his mother ran off with by slitting her throat and strangling her.
Nice. See, I thought you were going to say he had homosexual fantasies, like mother, like son.
I wish he did, because maybe we wouldn't be here
Yeah, and if that was the maximum.
doing this. Yeah.
We'd be here doing this just about someone else.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So he started fantasizing about killing.
Yep.
Specifically, the
Step
woman
of
that
it.
was ploughing his mother.
Yeah. So this is preteen and already wants to murder. He would also start to have dreams of killing people and told a therapist about these fantasies and how he wanted them to come true. I also have to wonder, did he mean to save his dad's life if the fantasies started around that time? Or was he just kind of like hitting his dad to be like, fuck you, and oh fuck, I think I saved him? Because it's roughly around the same time.
It is, but his dad... I don't know if it's directed towards females or not, but his dad is, I don't think, a woman.
No,
Whereas
he's
his
not.
mum is, and his mum's new lover is a lady. So maybe it's a female thing.
At age 11, Daniel was diagnosed with adjustment disorder with a depressed mood, and sadly it seems all the signs were there from the start, but no one either took him seriously or didn't think he would actually go on to become a killer. By 2010, at age 13, he was prescribed his first antidepressant called Prozac.
Oh, Prozac.
Prozac is used for major depressive disorders, OCD, anxiety, and the like. At 14, he was drinking and using the devil's lettuce or the marijuana and was going back and forth between his father's house and mother's. His father would eventually kick him out due to his substance abuse, because you know that's what you do instead of getting them help. Like, I get it, addicts and stuff, but come on, the kid was 14 at the time and showing major issues already. Yeah, it's not going to make the situation better.
Listen, Linda, listen. you made the choice to fucking load one off in a woman and have a baby, right? So you have to step up and be the fucking parent you're supposed to be, and you're meant to actually be there for your kids, even when times are fucking shit and times are rough and they're doing some fucked up stuff. You need to be there. You're the dad.
Yeah.
Mums too, but dad's more so.
Daniel would be placed in an intensive outpatient program to treat anorexia and would even do a hospital stay for around a month.
What, so he's starving himself as well?
Yeah, self-harm and anorexia and all that.
And anorexia is also about control.
By 2012, Daniel was taking a new medication called Celexa, I think it is, or Calexa, another selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, as well as being given an antipsychotic called Abilify. Abilify?
Never heard of Abilify.
Oh, it's not Abilify?
Abilify!
Abilify. Yeah, there
But
you
it
go.
gives you the ability to do
Fly.
something.
Yeah. And doctors would even note that Daniel started having feelings of derealization or feelings that his surroundings were not real and was having out-of-body experiences roughly 4 to 5 times a week.
So
Not
he's
good.
on antipsychotics, right?
Yeah, that are making him...
Does he have schizophrenia? Is he diagnosed with schizophrenia or anything?
No, so just that major depressive... And I think because it's like 2010, 11, they're just like, oh, you're fucked up. Like, mental health wasn't very in the spotlight.
I wonder if maybe he had... Because you can't... Like, one thing doesn't just exist on its own. Like, you can have multiple things at the same time. So I wonder if he had, like, borderline personality disorder.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
His dreams of murder became even more frequent, and he even confided in a school counsellor that he was having homicidal fantasies. And they were concerned that the police were even called. Like,
Well,
I'm good.
It makes
Go
sense.
ahead.
Because what has happened in... Sorry, America, I know we always make targets of you. Bad choice of words when it comes to, like, the way things happen. But school shootings, playground shootings, church shootings, peaceful Amish communities.
Yeah.
It makes sense that you would get the police.
Luckily. Again, he was hospitalised, and on returning to the school, he stated to a psychologist, I have full confidence that I could hurt these people.
But you know what? One thing I'll give him is that at least he was being honest about how he felt and what he did. He wasn't trying to hide it. You know how a lot of the times it'll be like the loner and they're quiet and they whatever, and then one day they turn up with an AK-47 and they shoot everyone. This guy was like, just so you know, I am going to come and I'm going to do these things because that's how I feel.
Yeah, he was very open with it.
Yeah, which is frightening.
Super frightening. Again, the police were called, but he was deemed to not be a danger to himself or others, and no further action was taken.
Says who? Who?
I was like, what?
The police? Did the police make this
Da
decision?
who? Da who?
Where are we again? California?
Yeah, California.
Fuck yourself, California.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking dumb. Nah, she'll be right. He's just a teenager.
Not all of California, because I do have friends that are in Orange County, California.
Oh, yeah.
The police. That's dumb. Who does that?
Yeah, dumb. Everything worked out, and all of a sudden, his homicidal thoughts and fantasies stopped.
What do you mean they stopped?
Oh, no, not really. They just got worse, and he got more graphic, talking about becoming a serial killer and killing people at the school and seeing how many he could get before he was taken out, and even spoke how he would torture people by peeling skin from their hands and cutting off their eyelids.
Who did he tell this to?
Just everyone, anyone who would listen. I guess his group of friends.
It surprises me that he had a group of friends.
Yeah.
He seems pretty antisocial.
Yeah, he had a couple of friends. I don't know how many. I don't know if it was literally just one friend, but he ended up getting a friend and a girlfriend somehow. But yeah, he told his friends about the fantasies and that if he ever got a chance to murder, he would just claim insanity. Daniel had some idols as well that were rather out there, like Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer, and strangely enough, we later find out that Daniel would actually score higher in the psychopathy scale, and I mean higher than Dahmer and Gacy, receiving a score of 35.8 out of 40. Dahmer scored 23 out of 40 and Gacy 27 out of 40. And he is a child, remember? A kid.
Wait, Jeffrey ate and boiled gay people, and this kid...
And Gacy put people in the floor.
Under the floor,
Yeah.
Little boys.
Yeah. So let us jump to April 13th, 2013.
Ew.
Oliver Chip Jennings Northup Jr., who...
What? Sorry, what? What?
It's a long
One more
name.
time.
He looked very lovely. Oliver Chip Jennings Northup Jr.
Oliver Chip Jennings Northup Jr.
Yes.
That's 5 names.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's too much.
He was 87 years old, served in World War II in the Navy, and later became a prominent attorney and was described as being very active for his age. He had 6 children from a previous marriage and would later go on to marry a woman by the name of Claudia Maureen Maupin later in life. They actually met at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Davis.
Unitarian Universalist Church of David or Davis?
Davis, where they live.
I don't know what the shit that is.
Yeah.
But I don't want it.
They married anyway in 1996. Claudia was 76 years old and had 3 children of her own. She was active in the local theatre and was even a political activist in the 1960s.
Wait. Why are you telling me about these people? They're gonna die, aren't they?
I don't know, Del.
I think you do because you fucking wrote the fucking thing.
Just you wait, sunshine.
Alright.
All right. Her daughter described her mother as having endless kindness and support. Claudia had also been a life counsellor in her past, as well as doing spiritual counselling. I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
They both seemed like amazing people who had made such a huge impact and difference in their lives.
Yeah, you fucking bitch, they're dead. There's no way they're not. Sorry.
Yeah. On the 14th of April 2013, the couple did not show up to church, which was very out of the ordinary. The kids attempted to contact them and their phones went straight to voicemail. It wouldn't be until they showed up to the house that they found out that Chip and Claudia had been horrifically murdered whilst they were in bed asleep.
I wonder who did it.
I wonder. Unfortunately, the case would take a strange turn, with police honing in on Chip's son, Robert. He unfortunately was not given the chance to grieve properly, as him and his family were put forward as suspects. Well, I should say Robert's youngest son was the main suspect for around 2 months. Can you imagine that? Like, you literally have not done anything, you've just lost your dad, and your son's getting blamed for the murder. Their property was searched multiple times, with carpet even being ripped up. They received a lot of backlash from the community, and the biggest thing of all, they were unable to truly grieve the loss in their family because of the police thinking it was his youngest son, which I couldn't find the age of, but pretty much it was because there was drawings of some character in a journal where 2 people were sleeping in a bed and someone was holding a knife. It's a bit weird, but a bit of foreshadowing maybe. So Chip and Claudia's house was also just a few houses down from Daniel's father's house. Just a little FYI. It would take an anonymous 911 call sometime in June for officers to get on the correct trail. The caller stated to the operator that he was scared to come forward as he'd been threatened, but that he knew all the details and everything that had been done with the double homicide. The operator immediately transferred the call to the officers, where the caller again asked to remain anonymous. When the officer asked, "What are you calling to report?" the caller stated the double homicide that happened in April this year. He stated he could tell the officer everything because the person who did it had told him everything about it. He was so accurate with the information he was able to give that the officers knew they had their guy. Also, part of me was like, what if the caller was the actual killer and just trying to get a bit of glory of retelling what they had done?
I mean, we've heard it before. We would hear it again. Also, it's kind of interesting, though, when people come forward and they tell that kind of stuff, when they give information that wasn't released to the press, and then those are normally the things that they're like, there's no way you would have known that.
Yeah, and they're like, hang on a second.
Yeah, that's fucked.
So Daniel was not even on the police's radar, and this is 2 months after the brutal murder.
Well, we know that cops do such a good job.
Yeah. This psycho was walking around gloating about it and threatening people and going full cray, thinking he got away with all this. So wild. When Daniel finally came in to be interviewed, he was a minor, because 15, and his mother was outside and they had her consent, so they wanted to interview him alone. See what they could get from the kid, and the officers did a pretty good job at getting the confession out of him. The officers start with the usual, where were you, what were you doing kind of thing. He was so weird in the interview, and once again you can see all the footage online, and you can just immediately tell that something is not right with this kid. They bring up the murders, and Daniel replies that he knows about them because, it's a small town and a lot of people know a lot of things. All Daniel knew was that there was an elderly couple and it was a break and enter. They asked, when was the last time you were in that area? Just kind of building that rapport. We hear about his messed up childhood, and this is where we get a bit of an insight into his life and him going into he didn't do anything, and he stated, if you're looking for an alibi, my mum would be it. And then the officer just does like a silent standoff. It was really great to watch. I was just like, oh, stare him down.
Power play.
Yeah. A new officer enters the room, an older guy, and he states that he's from the FBI and does some criminal profiling and the like. Even says his family is a train wreck. It's not wrong. Daniel starts opening up more about his childhood, so the officers were obviously doing an awesome job getting the info out of him. Daniel would end up asking, exactly what are you guys trying to get from me? Like, after a while, he's kind of like, why are you asking these questions?
As if he didn't know.
Yeah. The older officer stated, well, we saw some things on your Tumblr, and I must confess, dear millennial mung beans, I never used Tumblr.
I did back when really good porn was on it.
Oh, yeah. So was it like the Twitter almost, because you could post photos that...
It was kind of like, it was the pre-Twitter.
Yeah.
The same way that MySpace was in line with, well, MySpace outdid like Bebo.
Yeah.
But they were like the precursors for Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very much like that.
So talking about Tumblr, the usual, like what's on a 15-year-old's page of Tumblr, some song lyrics, his feelings,
Yeah.
horror movie related things, or just gore. That's about it.
Yeah, and nowadays, like anime titties,
Yeah, anime titties,
tentacle porn,
tentacle porn.
furries.
Okay. The officers hone in on the whole horror movie thing, and it's like, look, you can like horror and not be a psycho, but also psychos do like horror, so it's kind of like...
Horror's my favorite genre.
Yeah, that's all I watch. I mean, like, hello, we do true crime. We could be seen as psychos as well. Why do you do that? It's because I love talking about murder.
Could be seen as psychos, should be seen as psychos.
Potato. So Daniel goes on to tell officers he has a dark sense of humour and that kind of stuff makes him laugh. They talk about his self-harm, and Daniel did make a weird comment at one point that if he doesn't know the person, it doesn't bother him in the sense of watching a movie or things where people die, just the usual.
Hint.
The FBI agent goes into how Daniel feels about all the horror stuff, and we find out he is fascinated with anatomy. Which, look, that's fine, but once we find out what he has actually done, because we haven't even gotten into the crime yet,
No, I don't actually, because we just have red flag after red flag
Yeah.
after red flag after
On
red
the play.
flag on the play. And it's just bizarre.
Yeah, bizarre. So they pretty much work out that horror gives him some kind of feeling, I guess. Whether it's laughter or whatever, some form of happiness. Not a good sign. After chatting for a while, Daniel asked the officers, so you guys haven't really told me why I'm here and why you ask me these kind of questions. Like, who are you with and who do you know? And this is when Daniel finds out that his ex-girlfriend and ex-best friend had contacted the police to let them know what Daniel had told them.
Snap!
Boom, bitch. You can see the moment on camera when he's like, what? I'm a kid. I don't hurt people. And I care about people. No, sir, we do not believe you.
What?
That's
I'm
what he
a
kept going.
cat.
He's like, but I'm just a kid.
But I'm just a cat.
I also forgot to mention that when the crime took place, Daniel was 15, but since he was not brought in until 2 months later, he had just turned 16. Just so you know. So a bit of back and forth with the agent talking about how they had someone call and give lots of details, only details the murderer would know. Daniel even tried have you spoken to the people that made the accusations? Because, you can't trust my friend. He's just trying to fuck up my life. Like, this kid is still a kid, but definitely trying to be smart in some way.
Yeah, right.
Daniel also made a comment that, my friend knew I carried around a knife and that he nearly got expelled over it and how his friend had killed animals before. And the agent was like, yeah, we got told the same about you, bud.
Snap. You just got red, you little bitch.
It is so weird in the interrogation, you can see a video where he nods and he just starts rapidly blinking. It's fucking creepy. More back and forth with the officers finding out the medication he's on, and then the agent flips the script and goes into a bit of a harder stance, an old Danny boy. He says to Dan, I can tell when you're lying and when you're telling the truth. Now, we're going to get into the evidence that was found at the crime scene. They take DNA swabs from Daniel and ask him to take his boots off as well. They question about the boots, like could we find any blood on here, or have you walked around anywhere, or, you know, maybe duct taped your shoes at all? You might be thinking, oh, that's a bit of a weird question. The reason they ask this is because they believe the killer duct taped his shoes in order to not leave any tracks, as nothing was really found at the crime scene.
Did they get a partial print?
I think they said there was like a partial imprint, but there was no, like they could see a foot mark, but all the, yeah, because it'd been taped up.
All they would need to do is find the residue of tape on the shoe bar.
Mm-hmm. They then ask Daniel for his phone, and this is where he gets a bit defensive, like, I kind of need that, and I'd like to go home now. No, you're not going home.
So, okay, question. I know there's a thing when you're being interrogated, you're not actually being charged or held at that point. So unless you're being charged with something, you can legally go. I guess their intention was to charge him with something, right?
Yeah. Because the officers reply with, well, unfortunately, the judge has already signed off on a search warrant. So, yeah, no, you're going to hand your stuff over to us, thank you. Dan looks a bit shocked and is like,
Well, I need my fucking shirts back. How the fuck am I going to get home? I'm going to call the cop and I can't fucking do that.
it's really cute that he thinks he's going home, by the way. Another piece of evidence is brought forward of a recording the police have regarding the phone call I spoke about earlier. It's a phone call of Daniel's ex-girlfriend and ex-friend being like, hey, so I'm at the cop shop. Would you be willing to tell them what you know as well? Once the police nearly had Daniel's confession, he ended up saying to one of the officers, don't be a dick, okay? You don't have to take that tone all of a sudden, and even said, you're ruining my fucking life.
Don't take that tone with me.
Daniel said, I'm fucked either way, aren't I? And the detective replies with, pretty much.
Yeah, I like that.
Daniel ended up crying, saying, well, take me to a psych hospital, not jail.
Yeah, all right, just because you said so. Daniel?
Just because you asked, all right.
Better yet, why don't you ask to be let go?
So how about we go through what happened that fateful night of April 13th? We find out that Daniel's thirst for murder finally took over and he lost control.
I've got a better idea. How about we don't?
How about we don't say we did? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
can we pretend we did so I don't have to hear about what happened to that poor
Yeah.
old couple? You're not gonna
No,
do it.
I'm going to continue. He walked around the neighbourhood for a while, thinking what house should he choose? He said it was around 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning and he's scoping out where he should target. Now, this is where he ends up being on his dad's street and just a few houses down. Unknowing of what was happening outside, Daniel broke into Chip and Claudia's house through a screen that he had cut a hole in. The cut in the screen was more like a slip, because we do know that he fit into his ex-girlfriend's doggy door, the slippery motherfucker, because he broke into her house by going through the doggy door. So, like, just needed a little slip and he slid on in.
Like invited, right? But she would have been sneaking him in.
No, not invited. He just kind of broke in,
Wow.
which is like, what the fuck?
That reminds me of a time when I used to live in Kalanga, and I was staying with two other guys, Ash and Jericho, and there was this one other guy who was friends with Ash, and we only found out like ages after it was happening that he had been sneaking into a house at night for someone to sleep. He had been lifting the garage door up, sliding under it, and then sneaking upstairs into Ash's room where he would sleep. And on top of that, I found out that he was still in the house when we left, and he was going through my stuff and taking my clothes.
Fucking
How
hell.
messed up is that?
No, thank you. I don't like that.
I think his name was Ty.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I can't remember. I wasn't very fond of him.
We don't like him.
We don't like him. He's a fucking creep.
Anyway, back to the gruesome night. I'm like, how else do you segue into him being a creep? This guy's creepy. Just lots of creeps. So he went in through the back and listened out for anyone snoring. He said he heard it, so he entered their bedroom, opened their door, and stood over their bed and watched them sleep for a while.
Not creepy at all.
Pause. I even wrote down, you slippery white boy crazy ass motherfucker. Like, no.
white boy.
No, you do not do that at 15 years old or at any age.
Any age, yeah.
Yeah, now play. So he's watching them sleep for a little, like a fucking creeper. Daniel even stated that his body was trembling. He was nervous but excited and exhilarated. I frickin' bet the little creep jizzed his pants too. And he continues, I was actually going to do it. I was there. And he almost sounds so joyful retelling the story. It's fucking creepy. But another site I watched called Explore With Us, they said he didn't seem comfortable retelling, like his body language. But I don't know, the tone of his voice just made it, yeah.
Explore With Us is one of my favorite channels on YouTube.
I love it.
One of my favorite ones.
I do love it. It's really good. Anyway, digression and shame. So Daniel advises that he was wearing those boots that the police had just taken for evidence, black socks, black long pants, black shirt, black jacket, black gloves, and a black ski mask. He advised that all the items were in the garage of his mum's house. It's just in the garage. He said the weapon he used was a buck knife, and I was like, fucking hate knives, and I don't want to even look at that. And Daniel continues with, the movie Scream. It's actually Ghostface's knife. No. He said he found the weapon in his mother's bedroom under her desk a few weeks before the murder. Daniel let the officers know that he also checked around 50 homes before he turned up to Chip's. As I said earlier, Daniel was all creeper, standing over their bed, and suddenly Claudine woke up, and this is where Daniel started stabbing her, all throughout her torso. Chip then woke up, looked over to see the horrific scene unfolding before him. Before he had any time to do anything, Daniel stabbed him in the neck. Now, because, and I quote, she wouldn't die, he returned to stab Claudia even more times. Daniel later told police it was easier to kill the guy than it was the girl. The officer asked, where did you start stabbing Chip? And he goes, I started with the neck and then I just kind of went all over. And well, I stabbed her until she stopped moving and she was just kind of twitching. I went over to him because I'd only stabbed him once at the time because, I had to finish that one. He goes into more detail and we later find out that Chip was stabbed a total of 61 times and Claudia stabbed a total of 67. Not only were they stabbed, Daniel gave himself a bit of an anatomy lesson and dissected and mutilated the couple's bodies. This included disemboweling them, and he even tried to take out Claudia's eye with the knife, but found it too difficult. So he opened up Chip's forehead, because, curiosity, and even inserted a cell phone into Claudia's abdomen and a drinking glass in Chip's. He did this to fuck with people who were investigating the murders. His words. Like, excuse me, sir, you are 15. The community of Davis would be shocked to find out the brutal murder that was caused by someone so young and being so horrific. Daniel would end up telling the officers that every time he meets someone new, he thinks about ways he could kill them. The agent boldly asked right at the end, I just gotta know, how would you kill me?
I love that you keep looking at me waiting for me to respond or say something.
You're like, nah, not
was
today.
too shocked to speak. You had me at cell phone and glass.
Yeah, like he's literally just playing with the bodies. So the way he was talking about it, he's like, I just wanted to see what was here and I just wanted to see what would happen with this. And like first responders even said that there was intestines out, like he'd disemboweled and placed items.
There would have been so much blood.
So Daniel calmly replied with, there's a lot of ways that I could kill you. Choking you to death with your tie, beating your face into the mirror until it broke and using the glass to cut your arteries, gouging your eyes out and just smashing your face into the wall. Nothing personal. So Daniel said to the officer.
Feels kind of personal.
It does. Oh, and when talking about the crime, Daniel was curious to the police, asking about the DNA profiles, as he thought he did a rather good job of not leaving any evidence behind. The officer replied it was a very well executed crime, and he did this weird thank you, and they both chuckled. Daniel was like, thank you, I guess. So, don't be proud of that.
Well, to be fair, though, if those other two hadn't come forward, it may have either taken much longer to get this little cunt, or maybe they wouldn't have caught him at all.
And he definitely would have gone on to do more.
Yeah. Just even the fact that that is the first one he actually committed
And
is
how
wild.
horrific it was.
Yeah.
Daniel was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special enhancements, so listing out the depravity of the killings and the intention to kill more than one person. I'd never seen that before. It was first-degree murder plus this, and this. I don't know. I don't know. Daniel would later change his plea from not guilty to not guilty by reason of insanity. He was examined by a psychiatrist, and apparently Daniel tried to attack him when they met as well, so I don't know if he's just trying to...
Is he putting it on?
Yeah, he's a bit of a smart kid to a degree. Daniel's counsel even tried to file a motion to suppress his confession, as it was done under false pretenses. Or what, because you accidentally admitted to murder? Get fucked, fuck off.
That bit, yeah.
Thankfully, he was tried as an adult, with the trial lasting 5 weeks. After under 2 hours of deliberation, the jury found him to be guilty on both counts of first-degree murder and all the special outings they had. They also stated that they found Daniel to be sane when he committed the murders. He was charged with 52 years to life, with parole eligibility after the 52 years, leaving Daniel to be around 69 when he's able to apply for parole. Sorry, but no.
With his limited life experience at the age he was when he did that, they're considering that he should be freed at some point in his life.
The officer even stated this type of killer would murder again.
Yeah.
Because murder is the only thing that makes him feel anything. Daniel has tried to make appeals multiple times, but I say and also and also somehow in 2018 a video of Daniel giving like a TED talk was uploaded to YouTube. What the fuck? And it was titled Embracing Our Humanity. You have none, sir, and thankfully it was taken down from YouTube within 2 days.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. And 2019, something called SB 1391 went into effect, which means 14 and 15-year-olds are prohibited from being tried as adults in criminal court. And so he tried to appeal for that because he was 15 at the time, tried as an adult. Thankfully, the court was like, no, dismissed, August 2021, get fucked, fuck off. And that, dear mung beans, is the horrific case, or head case, that is Daniel Marsh, the 15-year-old kid who decided to brutally murder 2 gorgeous human beings in order to feel something. And the sad thing is, those 2 people that he killed would have probably been able to help him in some way or form within the line of work they did. They both, you know, with her doing life counselling, she cared about kids, like, yeah, that's fucked. Yeah, that's the case today, Del.
I did not like it.
Yeah, it's fucked. 15.
It was an interesting case, but I did not like it. I did not enjoy that. I did not have fun.
To me, the scariest thing was him casing those houses.
It makes you...
Like 40 to 50 homes, you could have been picked.
But it also, yeah, well, I mean, and like anyone, right? But it's kind of like, it makes me think twice about people that, like if I get up at nighttime, I look up and whatever, and I see someone just walking around the street. So
Lucky at all.
it makes you think, what are they up to? And are they going to try to break in here and they're going to try to kill me or my little snakes? Not on my
no,
watch.
ma'am, not on your watch.
That's messed up.
Yeah,
That's messed up. That's what that is.
fucking cooked.
I hope he gets fucking bum raped in jail.
Yeah.
I don't wish rape upon anyone. I think that's really bad. But there are some people who
Yeah.
might deserve a little bit.
Yeah, I hope he's someone's bitch in jail and he doesn't want to be a bitch and he doesn't like it every day
Yeah,
of his
and I
life.
hope the name is Bubba.
Yeah.
Bubba,
Yeah.
come here, my little jail bitch.
Ugh,
My little jailbait bitch.
yuck. All right. Goodbye.
So yeah.
Divorce. No one divorce.
Kids have got to have a hobby, you know.
Yeah, get a hobby. He's got one.
Mimity cave.
In Mimity Cave.
Go in cave now.
God.
Hashtag not alone. Give me a Vegemite sandwich.
You dickhead. Not you. Me.
Oh, me. You fuckwit.
You fuckwit. Disorders. Orders.
Disorders.
Disorders.
She's slapping lips.
She is slapping away. Slapping away. Sometimes I don't get things in the moment.
Until you listen to them.
And then I listen to them later on and I'm like, oh, that was really funny. And I didn't even react to that because I just didn't even get it.
She's a lady.
Whoa,
Whoa, whoa, whoa, she's a lady.
Fuck off.
I know it was bugging me.
I was like, if you fly into my mouth while I'm trying to talk, I'm not down for that. I do not
Extra
consent.
protein.
I do not
Extra
consent.
protein. Be a gym bro. Extra protein.
This is so going in the edit.
Oh.
Extra protein.
Extra.
Did you see that lightning? And it went.
No. Well, there's the thunder. Thanks.
Yeah.
You can sail the 7 seas in the Navy.
mopping.
Look at my ice tits.
I got ice titties, ice titties.
That's your
You're
voice,
so distracted.
It's the heat.
Ice titties.
Ice titties.
Another one for the end.
Oh yeah, hey, shush. Look at my ice tits. Oh god, yeah.
Oh no, Doug.
Oh!
Oh, that was a bit vomit.
Oh yeah, breathe that in my direction.
You're welcome.
PayPal.
I know, hot. Yep.
Are we drinking again?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sliding in, sliding out places he fucking shouldn't be sliding in. That's what it said. It's strong
It's very
rain.
rainy, yeah.
It's rain. I'm probably not going to get it out, so deal with it. He goes into more detail. Imagine if I was like,